Welcome to the doghouse. I got a question to ask my fellow Cowboy fans. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since I was a kid, probably junior high or even before. So I was there watching my hero. My hero coach was Tom Landry. There's never been anybody, in my opinion, that can hold a candle to that guy. Him and Vince Lombardi, the two of them, probably the best you'll see. And they were doing things with them teams without the computer systems they use today. They had the knowledge and fortitude to get the right people for their teams. Nobody else can come close to them two guys. Now I'm going to talk about, like I said, I am a Dallas Cowboy fan, but people, is a Cowboy ownership sniffing glue or something? How stupid can you be? I mean, waiting so long to do a coach. Schottenheimer, I would not even got. I'm not saying he can't do the job, and I sure hope like hell he achieves going back to the playoffs. But I don't see it. All he is to me is a stepping stone from somebody else Jerry wants. Well, and I've heard, and I'm not saying it's not true because it very well could be true, that maybe Kellen Moore, which I like, but not as a Dallas coach. I think Kellen Moore would not fit very well into Jerry Jones's system of being a coach. He would come here to no longer be a coach. He either stays with Philadelphia or take the New Orleans Saints job if he's allowed to do so. He would be better off because under Jerry's tutelage, it would not be good for him. I think Schottenheimer was probably the last resort for him. His two boys seemed to wanted him. But somewhere along the line, and some say Kellen refused whatever was offered to be the coach. That may not be, but as much as they wanted him to start with, I think maybe there could be something to that. Jerry has become the Al Davis of the modern day era, yeah. But he is doing the exact same thing Al Davis was doing. Go back and look. Jerry's ego has got the best of him, and his boys seem to be following that same path. Could they have kept Mike McCarthy? I wouldn't have. I'd have got rid of him last year. The reason being, one, there was something not quite right there, and I think this year they offered him a low-ball contract, which he didn't take. But here's a history. Unless Washington Redskins win and Dan Quinn goes to the Super Bowl and wins it, there has never been a coach that has won a Super Bowl, went to another team, and won a Super Bowl. Everybody wants a Super Bowl champion as their coach. It's wishful thinking. How many Super Bowls are there? How many coaches have coached two different teams and won the Super Bowl? Zero is still zero. But Dallas's ownership has gotten so crazy, and like I said, I'm 100% a fan of the Cowboys, but I'm also 100% obvious of what's going on here. And I'm going to criticize ownership because they are getting so stupid. They don't want to do the salary caps right. They don't want to. They only want to bring in certain people. They want to build their staff with people that are yes men, not coaches, which is bad. Even if Schottenheimer would be a great coach, with the stipulations put on him, will be bad. Yes, everybody will go out and say, no, they have full control. Most people don't believe that. They may have some say, but they don't have enough control. Because somewhere along the line, Jerry Jones has got somebody in mind to groom to take the coaching job from Schottenheimer. He just obviously not smart enough to realize that, or he's hoping he does good enough in a couple of 3 years that somebody else will look at him as a head coach. Now, if you bring in Jason Witten, you're going to be looking behind your back all the time, because Jerry Jones also has already said he'd make a great NFL coach, head coach. So you have to kind of keep your eyes on that one. And do you really want to work with somebody, you know, the owner already said he wanted him as a head coach, or he could be a head coach? You're going to look behind your back. I don't care who it is. Yeah, it seems like Mike McCarthy kind of threw Kellen more under the bus by criticizing he wasn't running the ball enough. Obviously, that's not the case. He's was 8th that year. The last year he was with Dallas as a coordinator. So Mike just wanted to call the plays himself. The problem you have with older coaches, and this is across the board, there's a few exceptions like Andy Reid, but they're old school and won't adapt. Andy Reid adapts. Some of these older coaches refuse to adapt to what's there now. They will do everything but adapt. Even when they lose, they'll make excuses why they lose, with the exception of they're still not adapting. And Mike McCarthy had said that in the past, is he coaches like he's always coached. Well, people change, schemes change. Maybe you ought to go look at that. But with Schottenheimer, to me, it's 100% a yes man in just standing there for somebody else waiting to come in. Jerry's not going to pay anybody nothing. His ego won't let him. His ego won't let him get a really good coach, because Jerry has to be the center of attention, not the coach. I think if Dion would have come here, it would have been bad, because Dion wants things one way and he's willing to run it that way, and Jerry would be offended at some point about that. So all you guys that wanted Dion here, it would not have worked out either. Jerry is going to get coaches that'll be a yes man and do what he wants and let Jerry be number one, and the coach just call coach and go out there and coach the team like they're supposed to, but technically it's really not, because Jerry's going to have the say at the end. Dallas needs to get off their butt. Jimmy Johnson knew how to do things. Let's get back to that idea. Quit hiring all these other people, you know, that's not going to do that good. You're hurting your fan base for your ego. That's right. His ego is hurting his fan base. Yes, I'll still be a fan, and I'm going to be a fan, and I will still root for the Cowboys over any team. But logically, take a look and look what's going on. Dallas needs to pull its head out and get back to coach or having a football team, not a commodity to make money. You want to make money, obviously, but you're making money and being out there doing all this publicity for the wrong reason. So maybe they are out there, in my opinion. Maybe they are out there sniffing glue. Something's going wrong with the Jones family. The ego and glue may be the problem. What do you guys think?